Good evening.
Hello.
How is everyone this evening? Welcome to our general meeting for August. I'm Kathy. I'm sure you all know me. But in case anybody's here who doesn't know me. Welcome. Make sure that you turn off your cell phones or turn them down so that we don't get interrupted for our meeting. And that will be helpful for everyone. Next week, we will be doing photo sharing at the beginning of our meetings. So if you want to send me up to 10 pictures that you've been taking recently or some that you're proud of, that would be great. So go ahead and send those to me. If you don't know my email, you can ask me, or it will be in one of the upcoming emails this week. The fair is coming up on September 24th through 29th or something like that. Our first decoration day is September 3rd. So if you are free to come help on that Wednesday, we have a lot of work to do. We may even be helping set up the pegboard because that is the same week as Memorial Day weekend. So the actual physical structures that it's pegboard. So
The dates again?
September 3rd is our first decoration day. Our next one will be that following Wednesday. This will be the 10th. And then the 17th is Taken Day for prints. And somewhere soon after that will be uploading your digitals. So keep an eye on your emails for all of that. Registration is due by next Tuesday, August 26th. So just be aware, make sure you register this week. If you don't have exactly which pictures nailed down, that's okay, because as long as you know, I have one portrait that I want to enter or 2 landscapes or whatever, you can kind of register, but because you don't have to put a name in. In fact, we recommend you don't put a name of like a title for your pictures. Yes.
What if you put a category and then you find a picture that is in another category?
If you absolutely have to change categories after you register, we can do it when you bring your print. Other than that, that's your last chance.
Yeah.
So
Couldn't do it on the computer. I mean, I've been in.
oh, it wouldn't let you change. It wouldn't let you. You should be able to remove a registration and then put one. I don't know. Yeah, just bring your prints and we'll make the change at the time of take-in. We did at the fair dinner for the volunteers. We won the centerpiece competition, so yay, LPA. It was the theme for the fair this year is it's a picture perfect fair. Picture perfect fair. So we had to win, right? If we didn't, it would have been really bad. It is, if you have not yet renewed your membership, I know there are quite a few people who have not renewed this year yet, due to whatever reason, but I just want to let you know that we are looking forward to your renewals. Single memberships are $40 and family memberships are $55. Student and junior memberships are the same as last year, which juniors are 15 and students are 20. Don Patterson, you can talk to him about, Don Sullivan about your membership. If you need to pay, you can give your money to him. And you have to be a current member to participate in our competitions and attend field trips, and have more detailed access to the information on our website. If you have attended more than once, we encourage you to join as a member. Our next workshop is next week, August 26th at 6 o'clock. And Roy Patience is going to be speaking to us about focus stacking. So that should be interesting. A lot of times when you do macro, you struggle with having everything in focus, and this will be a technique that you can use to have everything in focus. Woohoo! Thanks for coming on. Shirley. Next month, we have Chris Broughton coming to speak to us on September 16th about street photography. He also will be having dinner at Greenhouse Cafe with us at 4:30. So if you want to join for that, that'd be great. And upcoming in November, we have wildlife photography with Court Whelan. Our next competition is October 21st, and it is Nature General. So be looking for your best nature pictures to enter for that competition. Our next field trip is September 11th through 13th in Alabama Hills. We're doing night photography. Put that on your calendars, make your hotel reservations. I will be getting that up on the website this week so that you can sign up and get the hotel information for that. In October 5th, we are going to go to the Aquarium of the Pacific Photographers Night. And I will let you know when. They still haven't opened ticket sales for that. So I'm assuming it will happen soon. But I'll let you know, pick up your tickets as soon as possible, because they do sell out before.
What's the time?
Excuse me,
What was the date?
October 5th. It's a Sunday.
What were the prices on those again, do you recall?
It was like 40-ish in the, yeah, 40, 45, something like that. And if you have a field trip that you would like to lead, someplace you want to take people, let Steve know and he will schedule you. This is Steve, he's our field trip chairperson. And he will schedule a field trip with you. S4C starts late September. The deadline for the first month is October 4th. And we will send out information about how to participate if you haven't done that yet. It's a great way to compete with local Southern California clubs and get feedback about your images, numeric feedback. You don't get like stuff written out or anything, but it is helpful to know how you're doing as a photographer, and you can ask us if you're scoring low, what you could do better, things like that. Thursday, August 28th is our editing discussion group at Panera in Lancaster at 6 o'clock. Bring your editing questions and laptops, etc. And if you have any questions that you want to send to me ahead of time, that is fine. We do have a Zoom link that we use so that everybody can see what's happening on their computer. So check your emails for the Zoom link. And on Sunday, September 7th is the next Sunday breakfast group, and let Andrew know if you're going to that. It's at the Morning Griddle Cafe at 9 o'clock. I'm gonna grab my. Okay, I do have a member appreciation to do tonight. We haven't done one for a while. And I would like Don Sullivan to come up. Come on down.
Told you we caught you.
He's like, no. So Don joined our illustrious club in 2015. Is that correct?
For the second time.
For the second, when did you join it the first time?
1980s.
1980s. Woo. He became our treasurer in 2016, which is a big job because he has to reconcile our bank statements, do yearly audits, our yearly government filings, and preparing our budget every year and our monthly statements and all of that. So he's a busy guy for us. He took over our membership chair roles because we don't have a specific membership chair right now. So he's the one who takes your applications and all of that. He helps at the fair every year very consistently and faithfully, and helps monitoring as well during the fair. And he also helps me with computer website stuff that when I don't get the admin emails. And so he sends forward stuff to me until we figure out how to make me get them.
He gets the mail.
Yes, luckily he gets them, right? But he is a very appreciated and long-term member of our club. And so we are very thankful for you.
Coffee tastes better than.
That's right, it just
Coffee
does.
tastes better than.
Yeah. Okay, well, I am going, are you good?
You're as good as it's gonna get.
Okay, and did you re-sign into Zoom?
I am, all we need to do is.
Okay, awesome. So our speaker tonight is Dan Holmes. He travels the world exploring, discovering, and telling stories with light, which is what it is. He is a top-tier landscape and nature photographer with national and international awards. He teaches photography and leads photo workshops in Alaska, Nepal, Namibia, Bolivia, Chile, and California. He has a unique ability to capture light, color, emotion, and tension in his images. Dan started his company, Dan Holmes Photo, in June 2003. His freelance work covers several genres, including fine art, nature, and landscape, events, sports, commercial, and photography workshops. Dan is past president of the Channel Islands Professional Photographers Association, a fellowship member of Professional Photographers of California, is a PPC California Master Photographer, and is currently second VP for PPC. He is a PPC certified image competition judge and has spoken to and judged for a wide variety of photographic groups, both regional and international. His awards include PPC Landscape, Nature, and Photojournalist Photographer of the Year, Kodiak Gallery Award, 5-time California Top 10 Photographer, Black and White Spider International Color Awards, international twice in a row there. Creative Asia and others. He has been published in Outdoor Photographer, Pro Photo West, Landscape Magazine, Digital Photographer, Outside Magazine, Runner's World, and Cycling News. So we are very happy to have you tonight here to talk to us about Lightroom. Everything is running smoothly on his computer now. Not.
We will get back.
Okay, so without any further ado, we're going to switch over to his screen and we will give you the microphone. Oh.
Okay.
All right, folks, cool, that's loud. Is that's, okay. Thanks for having me here. It's been a bit. I've judged here, presented in the past, and I've always enjoyed it. And even got the carpool with Andrew on the way over here today. So there's several faces that I recognize and know from the past. So tonight it's about Lightroom. Okay, it's really a basic introduction to what is Lightroom and how does it work. We won't really get into how to work with it because that's takes more than an hour. So how many here are actually actively using Lightroom? Okay, how many beginners do we have that aren't using it? Awesome. Okay, well, one thing I thought I'd do to begin with is I do this, and Andrew sat through a couple of my talks, get to share the screen. All right, let me get this out of the way. Now, how many of you remember me from giving a presentation in the past? Like 3. Okay, what's the one thing I always say to start out the presentation?
Ask questions now.
I won't ask for questions at the end. Okay, and inevitably I always get that kind of puzzled question is the puzzled look. Everybody asks for questions at the end. So how many of you have sat through a presentation, the presenter has given their heart and soul for an hour or longer, and they say, okay, are there any questions? And you get the same reaction I'm getting right now. Okay, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to me as a presenter, and it's embarrassing to me as an audience. I'm thinking, God, I really need to ask something. Doesn't work really well. So what I really like is questions when they happen. So what we're gonna do, I call it a participating presentation. So ask the questions as they come up. And if it's a good one, you might even get a prize. So, yeah, so that's kind of the way I like to do it. And I've done it everywhere from 5 to over 100 people in an audience, and it worked. The one thing I've learned to ask is if it's a story about an experience or about gear or about something that you've done, save that for the break. Just keep the questions kind of on there, and that did pretty well. So starting off, what would you like? You got me for a little over an hour tonight. What would you like to know from me? What would you like to take home? This is your first chance for a question. Yes.
Where we're going out with 2 cameras and a variety of lenses,
Okay.
2 chips of information. Can I download both those chips in the Lightroom and work with them in the same edit session, same time? And will it sort the pictures out homographically instead of one group of pictures behind the other?
Typing is not my strength. Yes. Yes. And then I'm just going to add a couple of pluses because the rest of the question, how to manage images from more than one camera. Perfect question. What else? Susan.
I use hard drives, portable hard drives
Uh-huh.
for, to save my photos on. And somehow a group of them got messed up. And it comes up and says, cannot find. And some of them I was able to recover because I, would do the right click and then go to where it is on my, in Explorer.
Uh-huh.
But some of them I can't find. Yeah, mark of death, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Well, you're going to get a really good example of that in just a minute. So yes, that's really, really good. And there's a very good solution to that problem. You haven't lost your pictures. We'll talk a little bit about a catalog and how it works. Yes.
I've been using my own process to save the pictures. It's not necessarily the best, but it's for years I've got terabytes of picture storage. And I'm wondering how could that be converted over to the catalog? How I can store them objects that I have.
Legacy system, right? How to convert your existing process into Lightroom.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's awesome. Perfect. Now, I don't know if we'll get all these things solved tonight, but we'll lay the groundwork to get it solved. Okay, yes.
Yeah, I was wondering if there's a decent version of Lightroom for, I have a Z Fold 7, the new old phone. I do a lot on my phone.
Okay.
Is there a Lightroom app that's compatible with the old phone?
Oh,
Yes,
Is it just as
mobile.
efficient as the one that you use on a laptop or desktop?
I'm sure it is, but I don't use it.
I don't think they have, the app has all the features
Right,
that you would have on like Lightroom Classic on it,
yeah,
but it has a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of my experience. Last year, I got it on my phone, but it's limited.
It would be limited, but it's really easy to load your photos from your phone into Lightroom Classic. Super easy, and I just do that. So then you have all the strength of Lightroom Classic. I actually don't use Lightroom Mobile. So if there's any questions on that, I'm gonna have to say sorry. I just use Classic because I can have my own system through Lightroom built on my computer the way I want it. And it works for me, works great. And I'll show some of the examples of how I do that. So I would say use it. I've used it a couple of times just to get a picture ready from my phone to post to Facebook, and it was great. But as far as cataloging, I'd say go to Lightroom Classic on your computer. Okay. Yes.
For a brand new newbie, is Lightroom the best program to start with?
Absolutely. Um, I would agree. If and I'll talk a little bit about the catalog, what it is and what it does. Compared to Apple Photo, which is not horrible, but that does its own cataloging. Lightroom, you create it the way you want for yourself. I don't know Microsoft Photo, I've never used it, but that's probably pretty similar to Apple Photo. It's a good way, they're a good way to manage family pictures, and that's about it. So if you're starting to deal with hundreds or thousands of images, I think the Lightroom catalog is really good. So, yes.
I have a question. First, to say is you have 200 pictures on your card, but you only want to save 5, you went through them. How do you just save the 5 out of 200? Because it seems like when it imports, it wants to import everything.
Okay.
And the second question is the cloud. Do they have where you can store all that in the cloud, where you don't have to put everything on your hard drives? Maybe you can go into that or explain that, how much it costs.
Can LR save to a cloud? Yeah, the first part's real easy. The second, yes, you can. You can just go ahead and click the ones you want to import. I don't know that I'll get too deep into importing tonight, but I'll also put a plug. Probably in January with PPC, we're going to put on a 4-week series on Lightroom, 1 night per week, and we'll dig in deep. And that's where we'll really be able to get in to see how to work with Lightroom. So tonight I'll show you some teasers, but in an hour, it's a deep program. So
Somebody,
Or you watching the chat?
no, go ahead.
What are your thoughts about the number of images in a single catalog versus multiple catalogs?
ooh, man, these are really good questions. Single or multiple catalogs. Man, I could dive right into these questions right now. Kind of hold those thoughts. I'll walk through the catalogs a bit, and then we'll see if we can get back to the specific questions.
Thanks.
Okay, we can. All right, what we're gonna do first, we got to see some pictures. So we'll do just a short video that I call the elusive landscape, and we'll go, and then we'll dig into Lightroom. Okay. All right, there we go. This meeting is being recorded. All right, so now, how many have ever come to a presentation and found out that something didn't go right? Well, I gotta say, I've got a new computer, and one of the real strengths to Lightroom is the ability to what's called a smart preview, which allows you to work in Lightroom without being connected to your hard drive, which is a really cool feature, and I've done it many times. I'm trying really hard to blame this on my wife here, but a new computer, the smart previews didn't come across. So guess what? We're going to have a lot of question marks of death tonight. But still, we'll go through the functions of the catalog, and there's enough that have shown up here that we can make it through. So bear with me. Hopefully I got enough prizes for everybody tonight. So what is a catalog? What is a catalog? We can still, for a few more years, talk about the J.C. Penney catalog that you used to get in the mail. It's a book. And inside that book is all the information about everything that JCPenney sells. You can look in there and you can see all the information about the washing machine you want to buy. You can see the color, the capacity, the serial number, pretty much everything about that washing machine. But the washing machine isn't there. The washing machine's in the warehouse. Lightroom is a catalog. Lightroom holds all of the information about your images. It's really cool. It holds all the camera information, your f-stop, your ISO, your shutter speed, the lens, the serial number of the camera. All of that stuff is included, comes from the camera into Lightroom, and that's called the XF data. Okay. And, oh, here we go. Come on, get bigger. I don't know if you,
Does Lightroom allow you to alter the exit data? Does Lightroom allow you to alter the exit data?
oh, that's a really good question, and you get the first prize. Here we go.
Power strip.
You can have the power strip that's also dead. So, no, you cannot change XF data. That comes directly from the camera. And, so for us film guys, when we grew up, we were all supposed to carry a notebook and write down all the information about the picture. Did anybody actually do that? I got one. I did it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, 4x5, yeah.
Well, the cool thing now is it comes from the camera straight into us. So I can look at Lightroom and say, give me all of my 50mm picture shot with my 5.4. Boom. It is awesome. Give me everything that I shot with my 300mm Sigma lens. Boom, up it comes. Give me all of the pictures I shot with my iPhone. All of that stuff exists in Lightroom. And that's the cool thing about the catalog is it holds the data inside Lightroom. Now, does anybody use Bridge, Adobe Bridge? That's the link for Photoshop. And it does a lot of things that Lightroom does, but it does not hold the data. It is not a catalog, it's a browser. So if you're gonna work in Bridge, you have to be connected to your hard copy to see the pictures. Lightroom holds all of that stuff itself, which is awesome. So, and it allows you to search for those. So that's the EXIF data. That's all of this on that side of your screen. So here, that picture, ISO 1250, exposure 1/500th of a second at f8, Canon 5D Mark IV, the serial number of my camera, and my lens, f/28-300. So all that stuff comes in automatically. Oh, sure. So that's the EXIF data. And it allows you to store your personal data, IPTC. I should know what that means, but I don't. IPTC, but that's all your personal information. Your name, address, website, copyright information, and the ability to put titles and description, and the skeleton's dance. Yep.
International Press Telecommunications Council.
International Press Telecommunication, yeah, IPTC, that's all I worry about. Okay, so that's really cool. All this information is called metadata. And metadata is just a big word for all the information about the photograph. Some of it comes from the camera, some of it comes from you entering it, and some of it is mental metadata, which is the information you have in your head about the pictures. One thing about using a catalog and then putting together a system that works for you is how many of us depend on mental metadata to find our pictures. I know it's here somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, how many of us have sat through the person scrolling on the phone? It's here somewhere. It's here somewhere. Oh, here. And I got 15 pictures of this little speck that's a bear in a corner of the picture. Okay, that's mental metadata. Does that work? What happens to your audience when you start scrolling and looking for those pictures? They're looking for the door. Okay, we've all been there. So that's the beauty of putting your information in a catalog in a system that works for you. Now, if your system works, then I've heard constantly people saying, well, I don't like Lightroom because it puts it in its own system that doesn't work for me. No, Lightroom will do exactly what you want to do with your system. The key is do it in Lightroom, don't do it on your computer. Kathy agreed with me, so she gets a prize. Yeah. So the key is, it's an amazingly powerful program. Do your work inside Lightroom. Okay, as soon as you do something on your computer, change a file name, change a folder name, it breaks the link between Lightroom and your computer. So your computer knows where it is, but Lightroom loses it. And then you get the question marks or exclamation points of death. And that happens a lot. It's fixable.
To that point,
Yes.
if you use Photoshop to edit photos, does the info transfer to Lightroom?
Yes, it does. Okay, that's a chat. Perfect. Very good question. Yes, because all that information goes into the bucket of the photo that holds the metadata. So you can enter it from Lightroom, you can enter it from iPhoto, you can enter it from Photo Mechanic. That goes into the bucket that's saved in the file of the photograph. It's data just like the picture data. Yes. Alex, do you have a question? Okay, okay. Yes,
Now, Photoshop saves it, what is it, like DNG or something, or? Now, is it better to save it that, or save it TIFF, or does it matter?
oh yeah, another good question. Better to save it as a TIFF or a Photoshop?
The DNG or whatever they call that file?
Yeah, we can talk about file sizes. We'll get into that a little bit more in the monthly sessions. I save everything as a TIFF when I come back out of Photoshop, or if I'm gonna send it out to a printer as a JPEG. PSD is the Photoshop format, but only Photoshop reads PSDs. So if you want to look at that image or work at it in another program, you got to change it to a TIFF.
Yeah, because I always save it TIFF, that's right.
I've just been saving as TIFF for forever. I've also been using for most of the time DNG when I import. I convert it to a DNG instead of the actual raw file. Because DNG is open source. Any program will read the DNG. And the raw file is specific to the camera. So my 5D4 has a different raw file than my 5D3, which has a different raw file than my 10D.
It's like some of us use Nikon and Canon.
Right.
So totally inept or whatever it is.
Yeah, there's probably some Canon magic and some Nikon magic in their own file conversions. I don't see it. I've never seen the difference, and so but now Lightroom is so good at handling raw files. It's really transparent. So I don't see so much the need for DNGs anymore. The DNG is a little smaller, and the DNG you can put the raw file inside it. It's just way too much work and too much stuff for me.
One other question related,
Yes.
now, like the newer cameras have like a minus raw, which is compressed raw,
Oh yeah,
does that make any difference?
yeah. I use the medium size raw pretty often. If I'm shooting a marathon where I'm getting 11 or 12,000 images, I don't want a 40 megabyte file. I want smaller files, and nobody has ever asked for a bigger file. So it's just I don't know what the magic is, but it just makes a smaller file. So there's three on the Canon. There's full-size RAW, medium, and small. I'm not brave enough to use the small. And every time I've shot an event, I've kind of got over this. When I first started, okay, I'm going to be shooting thousands of images of this marathon. Maybe I should just shoot JPEG and let the camera do the work. I get to the day and I go, oh no, no. I switched to RAW, and I'm always really glad I did, because that allows me all of that information to be able to fix the images where I blew the exposure, or instead of the camera making a decision, I'm making my own mind how those photos look. And then the clients love it. Everybody loves it. So I almost never shoot JPEG. And the only time I had JPEG and RAW, or RAW and JPEG, was one of the first times from an assistant who was shooting RAW and JPEG on motor drive. And I could have killed him, because I was dealing with 30 or 40 pictures per runner when I only want one. So I've never seen really the need to shoot RAW and JPEG together. And I don't ever hardly shoot JPEG. So, okay. So is everybody pretty clear on the whole metadata thing? It's just the big bucket of information, all of the information about the photograph. Okay, yes.
Can you batch, like if you have a whole bunch of like motocross pictures, and then can you put in the metadata for that batch?
Yes.
As opposed to each individual one?
Yes, absolutely. And that saves my life. Well, there's two ways I do that a lot. One, I will, on the big marathon pictures, I'll import them, and there's a way that you can import them that the pictures render immediately, which is really important because I'm keywording 11 or 12,000 photographs. And I want that picture to come up immediately sharp to where I can read the bib number. There's a way to import it where that happens. But everything else I import now with a preset. I've got 2 or 3 presets, landscape presets, that I'll import 1,000 pictures from a trip, and they're coming in, and the first time I see them, they're about 80% done. The color, contrast, pretty much everything's done. And so the first time I look at that picture in Lightroom, it's almost done. And it makes my selecting and ranking so much easier. And the process there was, I was working in Lightroom and I would import RAW, then go in and adjust the picture, adjust another one, adjust another one, and another one, and found out I was doing the same thing to them all. So then I saved it as a preset. Now everything comes in and it's just about done the very first time I look at it.
Just go to mechanic and drag everything.
Okay, you don't. The cool thing about Lightroom now is you don't need photo mechanic anymore. Because the beauty of photo mechanic is it was fast. Okay, because Lightroom before this import with embedded previews was a little slow. And every time you open up the picture, it was 1001, 1002 for it to become sharp. Where photo mechanic was immediately sharp.
Right.
That's because photo mechanic was reading the JPEG from the camera preview. Lightroom was creating a JPEG preview from the RAW file. Now you can import that preview from the camera, so it's immediate. And then you've got, I could never figure out how to enter keywords in the photo mechanic.
Yes. I haven't figured that out either.
Yeah, I think, any other photo mechanic fans? Boy, it had a really strong following, but now I don't think you need it anymore. And we can, if you get to take the class, we'll be able to even get that even stronger. So, okay, a little bit about structure. We've talked about metadata. There's personal metadata, there's the camera data, and then there's the IPTC. And IPTC also includes all of the adjustments you make to the picture, which is really cool. So all of that data, every time you move a slider or sharpen or do anything, to that image, that changes and adds metadata to the picture. So I'm moving it up brightness by 3, that's 3 bits of metadata. That goes into the picture also. That's all saved in the big bucket. And it doesn't change the raw file. It's non-destructive. So everything you do in Lightroom doesn't change the picture. If you take an image and put it into Photoshop, make a bunch of changes in Photoshop, hit save, those are permanent. You've already thrown a lot of data away from that image, and you now have a much smaller image. So you've changed it permanently. That make sense?
It's always better to save the original picture, make a copy and work on. Thank you, work on the copy.
Yes,
You can
yeah.
delete
Yeah,
the image as.
absolutely. Get it here.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is with what we've got with the raw file and Lightroom, and to a certain extent with Photoshop, we can do all the work and not lose anything from the original file. Okay, which is amazing, awesome. Okay, Lightroom, you can do all these amazing changes. Those changes you're seeing only exist on the screen that you're looking at. It doesn't exist in the picture until you export it and create a new file. Okay. Nodding your head. Make sense? Okay. It's called non-destructive editing, I think it's called. Yep. Okay, a little bit about structure. And yep, I can't expand this. Well, can you kind of read that? It's a little small. Okay, come closer if you need. So file and folder structure, it's kind of really important. What are a couple of ways that you folks file your images?
I do it by year and then month, the date. And then I put that was after the date.
Oh, music to my ears. You already got a card. She said she used to use the date plus a subject. Yeah, yeah. Took me a long time to come up with this, going through the process of, okay, I'm going to the Eastern Sierra, so this is Mammoth Fall Trip, 19. Well, pretty soon I ended up with 15 Mammoth Fall trips. Which one was the most current one? Got this from Peter Crow in the Dam book, is use the date format, year, month, day. None of us in the US do that. We all do month, day, year. August 24th, 1951. That doesn't sort. It doesn't sort worth beans.
Use 2 digits for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've evolved, and I wish I would have known this in my corporate days, because I'd have 15 Excel files and I would never know which was the most current one without going into properties. So now everything I create starts out with the date, year 25, month 08, day 19. Everything I do. And then when it comes up in the computer, where's your most current file? At the bottom. That would have saved me hours and hours. So I do it the same thing with my folders and with my file names for the photographs. Does anybody rename their photographs? Hey, what made you want to rename your photographs?
That's the type of students. Sometimes it's just not maybe, for instance, I have a couple of photos where I'm just like
better days or just one more time? Oh, just something, can you,
Okay.
I'm that photo.
You're gonna get even a bigger prize because, that's a really good one. And I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't work.
I'm gonna get my stuff.
Have your calendar.
Okay. Yeah, we can jump right into that. A little bit on file naming. One reason is our cameras recycle at how many?
999.
999.
Goes
Yeah, or yeah, 10,000. So what happens when you hit 10,000? Pretty soon, you've got you start over again at 0001. What happens if you put multiple, so now it's easy to shoot over 10,000 pictures. We got lots of pictures in our folders. What happens if you take 3 of those pictures with the same file number and put them in a Microsoft folder? 2 of them disappear. Gone. No choice, gone. It only recognizes one file name. How many people shoot the same cameras? Okay, your file names are the same as hers, the same as hers, the same as his. All of a sudden, there's nothing unique about that file name. Okay. Create a file name system for yourself, and you can do it automatically with Lightroom. Now, what's your name? Omar. Omar said, yes, Omar was awesome. He said he will change the title of his file name. Well, how many have done that before? How many have used a title for a file name instead of a file name? As I started out, I got 2 trees in fall.
Yeah.
I went back next fall, 2 trees in fall again. 2 trees in fall again. Pretty soon I've got 15 2 trees in fall. And I don't know which one's which. Those are no longer unique. That's an intelligent name. And counterintuitively, that's not very fun. Because you lose track.
If you change a photo in Photoshop and save that picture as another name, does that affect the original photo? Yes, I renamed them as I edit them.
Okay. I'm gonna go a little bit further with that. So, file name of your photograph should not be intelligent. And that took me a long time to come to that realization. Seems like an intelligent name is something we'd want, but no, it's not. So my file name is DH Holmes, because there's another Dan Holmes or more. The date, year, month, date, and just 2 numbers. I don't use 4. It's just too many numbers. And then the camera sequence number. That's it. That's a unique number that's never going to be repeated. Unless I shot over 10,000 images in a day. Could happen, but I sure don't want it to happen. And that file name is unique to me and it'll be never repeated. And then I use that file name that stays with every single version of the photo that I create.
Can you speak closer to the mic, please?
Oh, sure. That file name then stays with every version that I create. Okay, I will have the file name in Lightroom, go into Photoshop, do all my work in Photoshop, save my layers, don't flatten. Ask me how I learned that image. How many of us have file name edit 1, file name edit 2, file name edit 3? Yeah, no. I did it because, okay, I got a flat image to make it smaller. Well, then I go back and start to work on it again and have to make another one. No, save your layers. Just don't flatten your image. And then that becomes the master image. Whenever I want to go back to that image, I've got my master. It's got all of my layers. If I want to make a black and white version, if I want to make a huge version,
I want to make a panorama on it. Then I'll go in and actually file name and add the word master. And then if I add a Orton glow to it, which is a little trick I do, I'll call it master-2, and that's like. So all of my images that I go into Photoshop, I'm saved as a master. Okay, so that image name stays the same and never changes. That makes sense. This is a big thing. And Lightroom will do it automatically. So when I import, I have a preset and Lightroom will make my name for the image. It'll have DH Holmes, the date, and the camera sequence number. Simple. Okay, highly recommend. Is it clear the difference between a title and a file name? Yes, yes, yes. We can have multiple pictures with the same title. No problem. But we can't have multiple pictures with the same file name. All right. Folders. Again, I went through lots of different variations until I came up with the way I work now, and now it works really well for me, and it sounds like it's in what you do. So I've broken them out by year. Here's 2009, 2011, 2019, and it's pretty much because I have too many folders to not break them out by year. Does anybody really work well with just dates or just numbers? I don't see anybody nodding. My head is nowhere big enough or smart enough to remember dates. So my system works, so in 2019, here I'll have the actual date of the shoot for me or the trip. This is 19/01/06. So 2019, January, 6th of January. And then I add where I was, Emma Wood. Okay, then I'll remember that trip. It takes me right back to that trip. I could not live with just date alone. And Peter Crow does, he says, just date and then find everything with keywords. No, because the trip was too important for me. I like to be able to go back to the trip and revisit the trip. You know, that other thing we're supposed to write, like a journal. Does anybody write a journal? That's one of the things I think, oh, I should. Well, my journal is my photos. You know, and when I go back and open up the trip, I go, oh God, that was so much fun. I remember when he drove off that cliffside, and I remember when the dog got bit. All of that good stuff. So this is my process, and this actually works really well for me. And actually, when I import, I have to create that folder name when I import. Okay. But I create that when I do the import in Lightroom. Okay, so I just import, and then there's a way of creating a new folder, and then boom. That's the way it works. All right. So this works for me pretty well. And for your older system, gentlemen back here with the legacy system. So you've got your system on your computer, and you want to be able to bring that into Lightroom. It's actually really pretty simple. And when you import, you don't have to change anything to bring it into Lightroom. You'll just navigate to it, import, and hit add. And that will bring all of the images in your existing system with all of your naming parameters right into Lightroom with no changes. Then, if you look and you feel like you want to change your system, and this is a big thing here too. Okay, is everybody really happy with their folder system? I got 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Except for ones that have disappeared.
So as you design a system, if you use this or a system that's comfortable with, don't do it all at once. Try it. Build a couple of folders, try a naming system on a couple of shoots. Does it work for you? Is it comfortable? Yes, okay, it is. Break it, adjust it, fix it. Then go back over time and start bringing the old stuff into the new system. And how do you do that? You do that on a computer or do you do it in Lightroom? Okay. All right. Yes,
The files and folders listed in the catalog don't save the picture again, correct? I mean, do they use memory on the hard drive?
oh, perfect. Yeah, these are good questions coming from the outside. Okay. Yes. No. When you are importing into Lightroom, you're only importing the data from the picture. You are not importing the actual photograph. You are not creating a duplicate of the photo. And that's a big question that happens a lot. Remember, it's just the catalog. It's the J.C. Penney's catalog. The warehouse is on your hard drive. And the big thing you want to do is keep the catalog linked with the hard drive. Does that answer her question or its question?
She gave a thumbs up.
Okay, okay. All right, so that's folders, naming. All right. There's a cool thing in Lightroom. I'm going to jump ahead to it a little bit. It's called collections. And this is a way of grabbing pictures and dropping them in a collection for a project. Okay. Quite a few people will end up managing their inventory with collections. So all of their folder structure, all of their finding, all their ability to work with their pictures, they do inside collections. That's actually kind of dangerous. Because collections are not saved in the metadata. So if you lose your catalog, you lose your collections. So I'll use collections to draw a slideshow, to pull out images for image comp, for presentations. I'll draw from my folders and drop them in a collection, and then they're there to use. And it's awesome. I use them a lot, but I don't depend on them. If I lose my collections, I'm not going to be heartbroken. If I lost my whole folder structure, yeah, I'd be really. So that's collections. Okay. Thing about Lightroom is it does make sense. It's a fairly logical flow in Lightroom. It goes clockwise. Yes.
I have a question with regard to losing data or losing information.
Yes.
Is it advisable to have your catalog in the system and then copy it into an external hard drive per se?
Yes. Yeah, I definitely back up my catalog. And actually, that's the only thing, pretty much the only thing, plus a couple of significant home files that I actually back up to the cloud. I don't back up all my images. I have too many. I got well over 200,000 in this catalog alone to back up to the cloud. But I do make a copy of my Lightroom catalog to the cloud. And I don't do it every time. That's just too many. After a significant change or so, I will back up. Yes.
I said external hard drive because I have never used the cloud. I have
Oh,
no
okay.
idea I don't even know how to use it.
Okay, easy. I mean, it's fine. The cloud is the same as another another hard drive.
Eventually I will.
Yeah. So yes, and then there's a way to set up Lightroom to where you can back it up every day, every time you close it, or kind of like me, I skip, and go, ooh, I better back up again. Okay. Yeah. And if you do lose your catalog, say I did 2 trips and everything was backed up and I didn't back up those 2 trips, Well, I would lose the metadata for those 2 trips. It hurt, but I'm not gonna commit Harry Carey over it. Okay, so yes, back up your catalog. And there was another good question about. Oh, single or multiple catalogs. This is a good time to deal with that. In the old days, 15 years ago, databases could only hold like 2 gigabytes, megabytes. It must have been gigabytes. And Expression Media, early Lightroom, there was a limit on the size that it would hold. There's pretty much no limit to the size of Lightroom now. I've got lots of photographs in and it's fast. I don't notice the speed. It keeps getting faster too. So to me, for most people, for your regular work, 1 catalog. And then everything's in 1 single catalog where you can reach in and find it. If you have multiple catalogs, you can only open 1 catalog at a time. It would be nice if you could open more, but you can't. So if I do create separate catalogs for the marathons, just because there's so many pictures and it's quicker and easier for me to have 1 per year. But if I want to go in and pull out pictures from multiple years, I have to open up each individual catalog and pull out the picture. So it makes more sense just 1 catalog. Now, some people will do an event or a commercial shoot or a wedding and create a single catalog. Yeah, I've done that too. So pretty much weddings, I would have 1 catalog. It was just simpler and cleaner. All the keywords were for the Kelsey wedding. Okay, but for my general work, no, I want 1 catalog. Okay, so where are we? All right. Is this making sense so far? Cool.
How much do they charge for how much space on the cloud right now?
Oh,
Like per gigabyte or 10 gigabytes or 20, how much? I know they have different levels. where you-
yeah, they do. I just do the basic photography program, which is, if you pay by year, it's still $10 a month or $20 a month now, I think, which is a deal. And it comes with what, 2 gigs or something?
I think, yeah, something like.
I think it's 20.
20, yeah, 20 sounds better. There's several good programs. I think Backblaze is really good and it's gotten better over time.
The photography program, which is now 1990, is 1 terabyte of cloud storage.
1 terabyte, that's quite a bit.
Wow.
So,
But yeah,
so for $20 a month, Photoshop and Lightroom and a terabyte, that's a good deal. And then plus you get Lightroom Mobile in addition. But my backup is I've got a cover, I do the JBOD system, just a bunch of drives. And that works for me. And then I'll take I'll take a set. And when I'm current, I lost my neighbor, but I will deliver a box of drives to the neighbor. So it's at least out of the house. But Backblaze, I think, is quite good. People have been satisfied with it. And it's kind of unlimited storage, I think, for not that much.
Backblaze, but it got expensive.
Okay.
And if I like disconnected one of my portable hard drives and then plugged it back in, it would say it couldn't find it. And
Okay.
that drove me crazy. So finally,
Yeah.
I just went, I'll just buy another portable hard drive.
Yeah, the drives are cheap now. I bought 2 10 terabyte drives for $400.
Yeah,
Um,
it was turning out cheaper than Backblaze.
yeah. And then I've got a funny, a cute little drive dock that I bought from Other World Computing. You just slide the drive into it. You might have seen me use it at West Coast School, which I should have here tonight, that I could be driving my drives. You just plug it in and copy to that drive, take that drive out and put it on a shelf.
I could see it. I think I took a picture of it.
Yeah, it's real handy. And it was like $30. So there we are. All right, where are we? Oh, Lightroom is, it's actually pretty logical. It starts and pretty much everything goes clockwise. Especially each different module is pretty much clockwise. You start lower left and finish lower right, which is pretty cool. I like to say this makes sense logically and it's kind of intuitive. Photoshop is like a big deck of cards. There's no logic to Photoshop. There's no start or finish. There's no flow. You develop your own flow. It's a deck of cards. You throw it up in the air and you grab a card. And I love it. I mean, it's really awesome, but it's not as easy to understand as Lightroom. All right. So let's jump to develop. Okay, the develop module. Let me close this down here. All right. So we're limited here because I'm not connected and I don't have my smart previews, which is a bummer.
Well,
File could not be found.
Yeah.
Okay.
so,
So, well, I'll talk a little bit about smart previews, which, if you're gonna use smart previews, you actually do need to copy them into into your computer. Oh, so I didn't do that. Okay, so you'll just have to take my word for it and then take my other class. All of the adjustments in Lightroom are really, really quite cool. Oh, see, I might have a file here we can use. Ha. Ha. Okay. We're going to go back here. Has anybody else ever screwed up a program?
Would be, which one?
Okay.
We're not calling you out first of all,
Ha. Figured okay. I've actually got some images we could use. Yay. Okay, so here is the import process. Starts on the lower left. This is now importing from the hard drive. If I plugged in a card into my card reader, it would show the card reader. So this is a source. This is where you are going to import from. So this is 250611. And we come up. This is from Macintosh hard drive. Here are my choices. Copy as a DNG, copy as a raw file, move, which I've never done. If I'm moving files within Lightroom, I do it from the library side. I don't do it from the import side. This could just go away. And then add. So those pictures are already on my computer. So I'm going to add them. Actually, no, we're going to say copy. Now when we come across, this is showing now where it's going to go. So we started from, we got what do we want it to do? We're going to copy and make new DNGs, raw files. It's going to go to the Mac hard drive. Build previews. This is where you can be as fast as Photo Mechanic by using that. That pays for your admission tonight. Okay. Normally just standard previews. Okay, build smart previews. This is the thing I didn't copy to this computer. I'm glad I figured that out. But we're not gonna worry about that. This is good. Don't import suspected duplicates. Oh, they all grayed out. What happened? They're already on the computer. So it won't let me import them twice, but I do want to import them now. Make second copy to. I only use that rarely, just really when I did a wedding. So when I imported it, would make another copy of the raw file and I would put that on a hard drive and save it until everything else was done. But when you do that, there's none of your work that you've created to that photo exists on that file. So it's just a basic raw file. It's the same thing as a copy of your card. So I never use that. Add to collection, I don't do here. Rename files. Here is where you can create your file name. Do that right here. Oh, look at this. Can you read that, folks? D.H. Holmes, date, year, month, day, and file name number sequence. Suffix. What the hell does that mean? File name number suffix. It's the camera shutter sequence. Yeah. That's lost in translation. So I'm going to save that as a new preset. Okay, so I just call that my standard name preset. Now I've got a preset for iPhone, I've got a preset for my little point and shoot, and I've got a preset for my fantastic $700 mirrorless camera. So look at this, the name comes in pre-named, so it knows it does that automatically. Get out of the way, done. Okay, so see that, and then here's the example. This is how the file names will come in. Now here, develop settings. This is where I've actually created presets from the develop module that every picture comes in, it has that preset already done. Okay, I don't have that on this computer, so we'll just pretend that I'm going to do that. Metadata. This is also where you can add all of your personal information, file, website, email, address, everything you want, copyright information. And if anybody wants copyright information, just text me and I'll send you my text, the text of my copyright stuff. It works, it's easy. Now keywords here, where you're doing keywords on a import, doesn't necessarily work unless the keyword applies to everything that you're importing. So here there's a keyword that would be a cormorant, but not everything has cormorants on that picture. Okay. Here's where it gets confusing. Destination. And this is what Adobe tried to fix this once and it made it, they tried to simplify it and it just made it worse. Really what you do is, this is really quite simple. I do it this way. And of course it's the right way. Create new folder. Open it. Oh, helps if you click the right button. Okay. And I use list all the time. And I will go to desktop. There we go. Desktop. Columns. Okay, Dan's stuff. New folder. What's today's date? 25/08/19. Oops. 19. And I don't know if hyphen or underscore makes any difference anymore, but it used to. It doesn't seem to make any difference anymore. Yeah. And then I'm gonna put Lancaster. LPA talk. Create. Now I'm gonna go over and look at the Finder in the computer. And guess what? There's the folder. Everything done in Lightroom. Is everybody nodding? Okay, so there's no reason to go into your Finder or your Windows and change your folder names or change your file names, because that breaks the link. Okay? Yes,
On a Mac, how does that differ from C from there?
it's the same,
Same thing?
it's the same process. Keystrokes can be a little bit different. Working the C drive on a PC is a little bit different than working the Finder on a Mac, but it's the same, it's absolutely the same.
Yeah, you just explore instead of the Mac stuff.
Yeah,
But it Lightroom uses your Explorer file format.
Mhm.
But the
Yeah.
folder, sorry, the folder is on your desktop, so therefore it's saving on your C drive.
This is, yeah. Yeah, Mac doesn't use C drive, but it's so, yeah. And this, normally I would be loading it into my hard drive, into that sequence you saw. But for tonight, for this purpose, I'm just loading it onto the desktop. Okay, good question. So I'm gonna choose. And now this gets a little confusing.
What do?
Organized by date and date format. Okay, this will create a separate folder for each day that you're shooting. Don't use the ones with a hyphen, with a backslash. Each backslash creates a separate level of folders. And that has driven people insane. So I only want one folder per day. And to do that, you just do this. Okay? All right. Okay, so I think we are ready to hit the button. Import. And there we go. There we go. There's the pictures. Now, one thing I'm gonna do here is show parent folder. And there we go, LPA talk.
You save all of your photos as copy and not PNG? I mean,
Yeah, that's a good question. Photo, copy or DNG or RAW?
hit copy, so save as PNG.
Right.
Or save as copy.
I've been doing DNGs forever, but now Lightroom handles your RAW files so well that
Just do copy.
I just do copy. The thing about doing a DNG, everything ends up in one file. You don't end up with a RAW file and a sidecar file. And there was a point in time where I'm sure it was just a friend, because it couldn't have been me, that looked at all these XMP files and said, I don't need those, so I just deleted them. There went every change I'd ever made to the pictures. Oh, no, the friend had only done that. So working with a DNG, everything's just in one single file. Okay, so I still prefer DNGs. Okay. So here we are. Here's all the pictures. Oh, and look at that. It came through with some information already.
It does.
Yeah, how about that? Okay, so gee. Oh, this is one that I like a lot. Okay, so now we can go into the develop module, hit D. Got it. There's new stuff happening all the time. And this is where you get to, this is the fun stuff. Whenever I have a private student come and want a lesson on Lightroom, they immediately want to go to color crayons. You know, I want to make pictures pretty. And that's the fun part. I go, nah, we're going to spend a couple hours first on the organizing part. No, I want to go to color crayons. No. Just like tonight, we spent quite a bit of time on organizing. Every single person's come back to me later and said, wow, that was really worthwhile. Okay. So the color crayons are amazing. They're really, really fun. And there's so much that you can do in Lightroom now that a lot of people can live with just Lightroom and not even Photoshop. It's awesome. So we got a half hour. Okay, oh, we gotta wrap up at when? Okay, okay. So, don't break my rule. Any questions so far? See what I said? Yeah. All right. How we doing on the actual questions? Can I load two cameras at the same time? Yes, you absolutely can. And Lightroom will tell you which camera it came from. Okay. You get to determine where you want to put those pictures. You can combine them all into one folder, or you can make multiple folders. But the cool thing is, and we won't really get into the sorting and looking, but you can say, give me all my pictures from camera serial number, yada, yada. Boom, up they'll come. Okay, Lightroom handles that really, really well. Question mark of death. If you're still stuck, give me a call later and we can walk through that. Okay. Yeah, again, do everything inside Lightroom. Don't do anything on Explorer or your window, your Finder. As soon as you do that, what happens? You break the link. Right. Okay. Is it fatal? No. No. Cool thing is, anything you delete from Lightroom, it gives you a choice: delete from Lightroom or delete from the disk. There are times I'll delete from Lightroom, it stays on the disk. Most of the time, if I've gone through and decided I'm going to delete it, I just dump it. But dump it from Lightroom, not from your computer. Okay, convert my legacy system into Lightroom. I think we covered that. You can just add, and that brings it in as your legacy system exists. And then you can change and adjust it if you so want. But if you're happy with your system, go for it. You're happy, it's fine. If you can find your images and you're happy with it, that's good. Editor for National Geographic way back when I was doing slides. I kind of showed her what I was doing and I asked, okay, what's the best system? And she says, the one that works for you. Well, what I was doing back then absolutely didn't work because it didn't expand. But if it works for you and you're comfortable with it, fine. Except mine's better. Okay, Lightroom Mobile, I don't use it, so I can't really help you on the Lightroom Mobile. It's a good way to adjust the pictures on your phone. I've actually just been using iPhone editing, which is not horrible. And then it gets it to a point where, boom, I can send from the road and post to Facebook. There's another couple of programs where you can drop a watermark on it. I've done that sometimes. And then boom, right to Facebook. Import part of a card. Who asked that question? Yes, yeah, you can. You just click on the box that you want to import. There's well, let's see. Oh, I think we can do that. Import. We'll just go to another folder. Okay, so here's all of these. Check all, uncheck all. I want this one, this one, this one, and this one. And those are the only ones that'll import.
So it's not gonna import the 5, not all of them.
It won't import, it only import the ones you have checked and highlighted. Okay. I don't normally do that. And I don't really edit from the camera unless it's a real goof up. I just import everything into Lightroom, and then once I can see it on full screen, then I make my decision to delete or not.
Just import them all.
I import them all. Yeah. You never know, it might be that one picture that looks horrible on the camera, but it's, you know, it's the elephant in front of the two towers. It's a horrible picture, but it might be worth, you know, $1 million someday. So I just bring them all in and then make my choices on Lightroom and I can see it on the big screen. All right, cancel. Back to Okay, there's lots of keystrokes too, that you'll learn over time. D takes you to develop, G takes you to grid. They're just things that are quicker that I use a lot. So here's where the picture started, hit reset. And here's where it is now. Re-importing, you do lose the history of all the steps that you did. Okay, so let's just create a, oops,
That still keeps your original the way it was.
yes. So I'm going to create a virtual copy right here. Okay, so now if you see down below, I have 2 copies of the same picture. I want to go through, get out of here. Lots of chats. Okay, reset. So that's the way it came out of the camera. Okay. What do I want? Exposure's okay. Contrast, I'm going to add a little bit. Highlights, I'm going to take down. Shadows, open up. Whites, a little bit of whites, a little bit of blacks. I'm going to add some texture, some clarity. Vibrance, I'm going to take, woo! Oh, kind of nice. Come on. Saturation up. I've got,
Skip right over the haze, not one of your favorites.
what's that?
You skipped right past the haze. Is that not one of your favorites?
I use dehaze a fair amount.
Really?
Some people really don't like it. Michael Gordon doesn't like dehaze at all. I use it. Oh, good catch. I use it a little bit. I mean, a lot is, whew. Well, that's actually kind of cool. There's a surreal scape. Shows you there's a lot of data in that picture, or the other way. So I will tend to add just a little bit of dehaze. And let's see, what else do we want to do? We want to get rid of this. Looks like, guess what? Every once in a while, my lens hood turns. Let's see what lens I was using.
If only you could see.
If only you could see. Okay.
Just the letter, to scroll through
Okay.
it tells you the letter.
Oh, yeah, here, oh, you're right. So this was 30 seconds, f/16 at 28 millimeters. So not full wide with my Canon 5D and a 28-300. Yeah, a 28-300 that weighs about 30 pounds, but saves me $40 a month because I don't have to belong to a gym. Okay. So one thing I kind of like with wide angle is a little bit of the distortion. I kind of like the little bit of barrel or whatever we call it. So a lot of times I won't do lens correction unless it's people, or a building. So I'll leave that in. But what do we got here now? There's this amazing. This is just awesome now. The ability to mask in Lightroom. Yeah, it is a little slower in here. There we go. So we've got a mask for the sky, we got a mask for mountains, mask for water, and this natural ground keeps coming up. I don't want that. So create 3 separate masks. Sky, I want to cool that sky off a little bit. I want to make that a little bit blue, not quite so blue. Okay, then I'm gonna add some, come on. I normally don't use this trackpad thingy. Exposure is good. Contrast, I want to add a little contrast. Ooh, I want some detail on those clouds. Come on. Highlights, down a little bit. Shadows. So you can see what I've done with the sky here. And it masks amazing. I used to do this in Photoshop and it would have taken me an hour. Mountains. Okay, guess what? I want that to be warmer. These are tricks here, guys. I'm gonna warm that up a little bit. Temperature, color. I like my color temperatures. I don't know how many people use color temperatures, but I do. All the time. And the cool thing now is you can separate color temperatures within the same image easily. Water, I'm gonna keep that the same temperature. I'm going to blur it even a little bit more. Let's take down the clarity a little bit. Okay. But now we also got to get rid of this thing and that thing. Well, that's pretty easy. There's a couple of ways. Shut up. Not you guys. Got it. Okay. We can do the healing brush, and that might work for here. Yeah, we're good. There's a little dust goober down there. Everything different on this computer. There we go. Gone and gone. And then there's also now AI remove, which is pretty trippy. Let's get rid of this. I'm going to bring it back in because I like it, but and it's gone. Okay, it's a little sharp. Different things you can use. Okay, but actually I don't like that. I like those rocks in there anyway. So here we are, just within a half a second. How different are we from? Oh, okay. Kind of like tonight's version better. None of this work we did right now changes the raw file. Okay, this is just a stack of pluses and minuses or zeros and ones that doesn't do a thing until you actually export that and create a new file. Or jump into Photoshop, which I don't have on this computer. All right.
Raw file never gets,
What's that?
raw file never gets,
It cannot change. There's no program, I think I'm safe to say this, there's no program that will actually change a raw file. Okay, you can then create a new file from the raw file with your changes, but Photoshop or Lightroom or Photo Mechanic, none of these programs will actually go in and make changes inside the raw file. Except maybe Canon RAW.
Photoshop may, if you save it with the exact same name. But Lightroom does one.
Ooh, ooh. Oh, interesting. So if you saved it as a raw file with the same name, yeah, I wouldn't want to do that, but maybe so.
But I mean, it's built so that you won't.
Right, right. Because Photoshop, when you save, it basically sends you to a TIFF or a JPEG or a DNG or PSD or a PDF. Okay. So here we spent probably close to an hour talking about organizing and about 15 minutes with the color crayons. Color crayons are awesome. Yes.
For example, the background here is skies and clouds. What if I wanted to make that into a celestial, like stars and moons and things like that?
There, you got to go to Photoshop.
Photoshop.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it. There's a bunch of presets here. And some of those presets are AI and they might do some weird stuff. I haven't played with them. Yeah, I mean, this what I just loaded tonight is a new version of Photoshop. It kept sending me these helper things, so it's just a new version. In these presets, well, let's create another virtual copy. And go back to, okay, so here are, adaptive sky, blue drama, dark, ooh, blue pop, adaptive subject. Like I said, I haven't tried any of these. Oh, that's a subject. Oh, that's cool. And this is sky, blur background. So there's a lot of new things here that I'm sure don't exist on the phone version, but exist here in Classic. Yeah, I haven't really played with these because I tend to do my own work, but might be something in there with stars. Portraits, edgy, portraits, group, retro, spring, spot. So, but if you want to change the sky, drop in a moon, do something really surrealistic, there you got to go to Photoshop and use layers. And there's a lot more to do with here. Let's see, let's go. So now I can come in and I can actually change the color of that mountain. Go darker, brighter. That's pretty amazing. And the edge control is crazy, yes.
Let's say Masaki suggested changing the sky to something with the stars or things like that. Can you just mask the sky, get rid of it or move it aside? Okay, and reverse the masking and bring another image into that. You know,
Not in Lightroom.
Not in Lightroom. What it could do, what actually might make your no, it's still going to be easiest to do that in Photoshop because the Photoshop selection now is probably just as good as this. So you would select and do sky replacement.
can you work on two different images simultaneously?
No, just one. Just
So
one.
you mentioned earlier,
Right.
but I won't.
So these aren't true layers. It's kind of a assumed layer in Lightroom. So, all right. What else can we do?
The picture. Vignette.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of different things we can still do. I like this.
Watermark.
Yeah, watermark when you export. That's another trick. You can't do it here, but when you export, you can create a watermark and put it on. And I do. I create a watermark.
Lucid theory.
Yeah, it's really pretty easy to do when you export. Yes.
Could you put a presentation on it, like if you want to put this image on?
No. No, if you want to put a border. No, I think you got to go to Photoshop. Yeah,
Guys like, but you can put an edge or I've done that using the vignette.
oh,
Make a hard edge.
yeah, you can get, but you're gonna lose quite a bit of the image. Okay. You might be able to come close in, on the print side. Because the print you can get a border, but it's easier to do in Photoshop. Okay. So lots more controls. The denoise is awesome. And here's chromatic aberration. I always do that just as a matter of course. And here's your vignette. That might be a little excessive.
But if you take the feather all the way down and
Oh, look at that.
then you can adjust the shape.
That's kind of neat.
Like if you bring the feather down, then.
Oh, take the feather down even more. Oh, it's stuck. There we go. Sort of. Kind of, yeah. Yeah, it's Yes,
Can you reverse the color of the vignette? For example, to make it white,
Yes.
get a white border.
Like that.
how about that? Okay. So other features in the program, you can make slideshows, which I do a lot. It's really a decent slideshow. It's quite easy. I'll drop them into a collection, pop them into a slideshow, add music, add a little bit of Burns effect. It can make a title sheet and a closing sheet, but you can't change the times of individual slides. And the transition is just one. So if I'm wanting to make like the movie I showed earlier today, I do that in iMovie, which takes a lot longer, but the slideshows are good. I used to make web pages, which was quite easy, and then drop them into my older website. It was quite easy to do here. Printing is good. You can make a book and send it to Blurb or a couple of different book producers. And then there's a map feature that if you put GPS on your photos, it will show on the map picture, on a map where you actually took the picture. I don't do it. I don't put GPS on any of my pictures. Andrew is shaking his head. To me, the most joy I get out of photography is the discovery, is waking up in the morning and seeing where I parked that night, is climbing up to the top of this hunk of volcanic tuff and looking down below me and seeing that I'm in the midst of a Native American encampment. I'm not putting that on a GPS.
Yeah.
To me, the discovery is the big thing.
Took some pictures of some kids, and they wanted to make sure that it wasn't on GPS.
Okay, okay,
'Cause it was at their house.
at their house, yeah,
Someone tracking.
yeah. So the iPhone, I'm not quite sure. I might be putting GPS on my iPhone, but when you post to Facebook, it wipes all the metadata off anyway. So it's, so yeah, to me, no GPS, no kiss and tell. People ask me, where did I take this picture? I say, well, it's on the map. Ask me, what's my most important piece of equipment? Has anybody heard me say this before? My car keys. So to me, it's the enjoyment of being out and then being able to tell a story. And that's what we all do, being able to share. And really one of the cool things about using this program is it allows you to share in a way that people like. Because you can easily put together a slideshow of 10 images instead of opening up your computer and showing somebody 100. You know, I always like to say it's a whole lot better to have somebody say, oh, when you finish rather than, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good intro. Any others? Oh, did we get all through the list? And those are really good questions, folks. Can Lightroom save to the cloud? Mobile, yes. Single multiple, I think we've covered. Not everybody got approaches? Or who didn't get a card?
Raise your hand.
Raise your hand.